A gorgeous night here at the scenic Highmark Stadium in downtown Pittsburgh, where the Riverhounds hope to play spoiler against the Rochester Rhinos, who can wrap up a playoff spot with a win tonight. Hello, everyone. Ari Shannock alongside Matt Stubbington. And Matt, the Rhinos looking to secure their spot in the playoffs here in front of the crowd in Pittsburgh.
Well, they're looking down because they need the win to make sure they do stay on the playoff picture. But they're also looking up because with 3 points, they can find a way to close that gap on the Charlotte Independents and perhaps find a way to get home field advantage getting into the top 4 as the season winds down.
And with a win tonight, they wrap up their spot for certain. They can also wrap up a spot with a draw, but they would need a little help. The Red Bulls would have to lose to Orlando City tonight. And we'll take a look at our player to watch tonight for the Rhinos, and it is Johan Graf.
Graf, I love the way he plays. He's so busy up top. Sometimes the Rhinos, as defensive-minded as they can be, leave him on an island, but he's so busy, so strong, so physical, and he has an eye for goal as well. With those little special touches around the box, just like that, looks up, calmly puts it in the back of the net. A really talented player.
Has 7 goals for the Riverhounds. The player to watch is the captain, Kevin Kerr.
He is a very busy midfielder. He works box to box so beautifully. Gets in and around the penalty area as well. Finishes with aplomb. But he plumbs in from the outside. Very difficult to mark, and is an important player for Pittsburgh Riverhounds and for what they want to do to be successful.
We'll take a look at the starting 11 for Coach Lilly in the Rhinos.
Well, Daniel Lynn getting the start in net tonight in place of Thomas Gomez. He has 8 appearances on the season, 2 clean sheets, 11 goals against. It'll be interesting to see how well he plays this evening as Gomez is getting the rest for tonight.
Yeah, Lind has 2 clean sheets. Gomez with 10 on the season. For Pittsburgh, Coach Brandt, this is his starting 11.
It's a strong starting 11, highlighted with Corey Herzog up top. He's got 13 goals on the season. Started off very quick with 6 goals, and then a little bit of a hiatus, but he's come back into form. Not quite enough to get the Riverhounds into the playoff picture.
And Matt Perella in goal tonight. The Riverhounds trying to play spoiler here tonight against the Rochester Rhinos. Coming up from Highmark Stadium.
With hundreds and hundreds of pre-owned vehicles for every budget, Number 1 Cochran is the one and only place you need to shop.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Give me a hug. You did it. Thank you.
Fighting cancer on all fronts. Allegheny Health Network.
Through the years, you've done right by investing in your home. And now, you can use that equity to borrow money for the things you need. With a low 1.99% APR and no fees, you can apply for a home equity loan online and use the money to upgrade to that minivan, make home improvements, or finance college. At Clearview, we can help you find ways to use the equity in your home for more important things. Let us help. Visit us online for more information. Clearview Federal Credit Union, the next generation of personal banking.
Hello, Shanti. How are you today?
Rose. Good, thank you.
How's this pressure for you? Okay?
Yes.
I'm going to do nice and light today for you.
Fighting cancer on all fronts. Allegheny Health Network.
You could spend lots of time searching lots of used car websites. Or just visit Cochran.com to see lots and lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
And welcome back here to Highmark Stadium. Gorgeous night here in Station Square, and the Steel Army is ready as usual. set to cheer on their Riverhounds, who come into the battle at 8-11 and 11, 35 points on the season in 12th place. Rochester Rhinos 11-7 and 11, 44 points. And in 5th place, as you look at Coach Bob Lilly, who's never missed a playoffs in his pro coaching career. 4th season here at Rochester. He won the USL Vancouver 2006, Rochester in 2015, 4-time USL Coach of the Year. Bob Lilly as he gathers his troops. And on the other side, Dave Brandt, who took over 8 games into the 2016 season. First pro coaching stint. He spent the previous 7 seasons at Navy, 19 seasons at the college level, 310 wins. Fastest coach in NCAA history to reach the 200-win mark. Won 6 D3 national championships at Messiah College and a 4-time National Soccer Coaches Association of America Coach of the Year. Quite a resume for Coach Brandt.
2 very experienced coaches on display tonight, and they've done a really good job with their teams. Obviously, Rochester Rhinos hoping to cement their place in the playoff picture. And even though the Riverhounds haven't made it into the playoffs this year, they have improved under Coach Brand and what they did in 2016. They already have 10 more points in the 2017 season than they had in 2016. The win-loss record is better, and their goal difference is significantly better. So -7 this year composed to a -19 last year.
Yeah, Coach Brandt saying few points here or there. We gave away a couple of points, and that's why they are sitting outside of the playoff picture at the moment. These 2 teams have faced off twice this season, both ending in draws. 0-0 in Rochester back in July, and then recently in Pittsburgh on the 16th of September. It was a 1-1 draw. Francois de Farrell in the 90th minute tied it up after a Kevin Kerr goal in the 71st minute. All time, it's been pretty much all Rhinos, 23-6-6. Well, these 2 teams that are in the Old Guard Shield contest, the supporters-built Old Guard Shield contest, and Pittsburgh can win that. That pits the 5 longest tenured franchises in the Eastern Conference against each other. Right now, they're tied with Rochester with 12 points, 1 point ahead of Charleston. So there is something on the line here tonight for the Riverhounds.
Well, they're not just playing for pride then and trying to put a positive display out there for their fans that have been out to all their games this season.
Riverhounds on the attack right off the bat, and a shot and a goal. In seconds, Johan Graf, our player to watch from Francois.
Well, the Riverhounds will be wondering what happened. They had the ball in their attacking half, turned it over, and all of a sudden it's down the right flank, played into the middle. Francois runs onto the bouncing ball. Lovely touch there. Bides his time. Doesn't really look up, just puts it in the mix. And why not? Graf is there with his left foot. What a fantastic finish and a fantastic start.
Francois with assist number 5. Graf with a gorgeous left-footed volley for his 8th goal of the season. What a quick start in the initial minute. First possession for Rochester. And you can see the Riverhounds in pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It is Kick for Cancer Night here tonight at Highmark Stadium.
See a number of the professional teams around the league and around the country, both in college and professionally, participating in the breast cancer awareness campaign, Kicking for the Cure.
And wonderful to see all that involvement by the sports franchises across multiple sports. Awareness and collecting funds for research. So the Hounds with possession. This is Mike Green. In the air, Forbes to the center of the field looking for Graf. Okai. It's different to see the Hounds in the pink jerseys instead of their familiar.
The Rochester goal scored by number 12,
yellow.
Johan Graf.
And I love that about Pittsburgh sports teams, too. The consistent color code throughout their franchises here in Pittsburgh. Rochester up early. They do need the 4 points to clinch the playoff. Graf on the run tonight. Here's Forbes. He is a tremendous facilitator, as is Wall-Fall. Francois with the quickness. Ryan James. Camden Feo. Nice possession here. A lot of movement early, Matt, for Rochester.
Being very patient on the ball. They did have an opportunity on the right flank to try and press the action into their attacking third. They came inside with Jordan Dover instead of trying to force the issue down the sideline. But you can't fault them at the moment. They have maintained possession very nicely for a significant amount of time.
Cross from Camden Feo is cleared out by Jamal Jack. We'll be hearing his name mentioned a number of times. What a anchor on the defense Jack is. 6'3", 200-pounder. 149 duels won. 154 clearances. Now, Coach Brandt mentioned him as just having a tremendous season. That diving to his right to grab that is Perella. Forbes' strike. Never really a threat to reach the back of the net there, Matt.
I thought Forbes might have looked up and served the ball across the pitch a little bit.
Well, Perella's going to send that all the way down to his counterpart, Dan Lind. Lind, 6'4", 195 out of Rochester, homegrown product. The Pittsburgh fans are familiar with Dan. He had 15 shutouts while playing at Pitt. There's Perella covering that one.
You just see Forbes just dragged his right foot over the ball as he pulled the trigger to take the shot. Interesting with Perella, he's been signed very late in the season for the Riverhounds, brought in as cover and replacement in the end, as Coach Brand had to find a way to replace his two goalkeepers that went down with season-ending injuries.
Perella from New Brunswick, New Jersey, Rider University. Jordan Dover serves it in a header save. And again, what a save. Banging into the post. Tremendous work from Perella as Graf flirted with his second goal of the night.
Brilliant technique from the goalkeeper down to his left and then up so quickly. I'm not sure whether it was him or the post that put the ball out of the goal, but no matter, the goalkeeper recovered beautifully to force the errant shot from Graf. The Riverhounds having a lot of difficulty defending in their left back position right now. The goal came from that area of the pitch on the service from Francois, and Graf almost scored again from a similar service.
And here come the Rhinos again. Wall-Fall, terrific creator. Oh, Graf thought that Forbes was going to be there, but he never made the cut. And this is Ryan Felix. So Perella, he's made 6 starts, 12 goals against, .556 save percentage, 15 saves. Tied a club high with 6 saves last Saturday against New York.
So Trey Mitchell and Kiesel Broom both had season-ending surgery following injury, and so Perella had to come in as cover for those players, and he said that Coach Brand has made him feel very welcome. Goalkeeper coach Gilstrap has also made it very easy for Perella to adjust to what the Riverhounds do and the system that they play.
Well, so, go ahead, Matt.
Certainly, he would want the first goal was not his fault. No. He did all that he could, but certainly we've seen some of the best of Perella early in this game as well from that last save he had against Graf.
And Coach Brandt, he didn't mention, no excuse it, he didn't mention the fact that, his team has had multiple key injuries this season, including losing your top 2 goalkeepers as a reason for not qualifying for the playoffs. But obviously that is a factor.
It definitely is a factor, and affects the consistency of your team.
For Dan Lind, who starred with the Pitt Panthers, he's conceded 11 this season. 20 saves, 2 clean sheets. And Coach Lilly's been very pleased with Lynn's progression. Coming out to wrap that up is Perella, because Gomez, who has 10 clean sheets, he was the Golden Glove winner of the USL last season. But now Coach Lilly just very happy to have those two goalkeepers together. Here it is again.
Perfect technique there from Graf on the header down into the ground.
Yeah,
the shot did go off of the left hand upright, but perfect technique on the header, perfect technique on the save. Goalkeeper did very well. So difficult to deal with those bouncing headers. That's why, as coaches, we tell players to head it into the turf, because it makes it harder for the goalkeeper to make the save. Perella did beautifully with it.
Well, good call on the player to watch tonight, Matt. Look, Graf again. Ooh, nearly a shot. Just off the ball as Rochester continues to pressure. With guys like Forbes right there and Fall. But, and Francois, good call. He thought that Graf would be critical here tonight. He's already put Rochester up on the board with his 8th goal of the season. Here they come again. Fall and Francois. Rochester, a ton of energy to start this. You can tell they've got a lot on the line here tonight.
Francois got in the way there. I think Jordan Dover was the target for the pass down the right flank. Impressed so far in this early going, Ari, how well the Rhinos are possessing the ball. The Riverhounds not pressing too far up the pitch, and that's allowing the outside players to get forwards. So we see Dover attacking down the flank again, and that makes life even more difficult for the Riverhounds to defend, because they're sucking so far back. It's allowing the width.
Jamal Jack heads that. Look at the hustle by Graf. Instant energy. He is relentless in his pressure.
And he's had to be. Rochester Rhinos, the way Coach Lilly sets them up is fairly defensive-minded. And I don't mean that as a criticism, because they are second in the USL in goals conceded, only 27 on the season. And they've only scored 31 goals, but yet they're sitting in 5th place in the Eastern Conference, looking to cement their place in the playoffs. And we all know the old adage, defense wins championships. And if they can find a way to get the ball in the back of their net with a little bit more frequency, they'll be a really dangerous team. But Graf is such an integral part of that, because they set back so many players behind the ball. He's asked to do a tremendous amount on his own up top, and at times he's done it on his own and scored on his own, which is a testament to the quality of Graf as a player.
Yeah, this is not necessarily the team you want to face in the playoffs. As good a defense as they play, here's a foul on this play. But as good as defense as they play, the 12 clean sheets on the season, Coach Lilly confident that they can beat anybody down the stretch and through the playoffs. Served into the box, headed out. Nicely done, and then cleared by Taylor Washington, who has 85 clearances on the season, along with 130 duels won, 95 interceptions for Taylor, who's out of Summers, New York.
The Rhinos, they'll be very comfortable having this 1-0 lead because of their defensive prowess.
Wall fall. Beautiful header to Graf. Challenged and taken away by the very physical Jamal Jack. Forbes working against Ben Fitzpatrick. It's got to feel good for Dan Lynn to come back here and play professionally in Pittsburgh after starring for the Pitt Panthers. A foul committed there. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 7 Eastern on Sirius XM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. And what a gorgeous stadium this is. Highmark Stadium opened back in 2013 on the Monongahela River. Just beautiful scenery Great sports city this is. The Riverhounds 4-6-4 here at home. They're hoping to win their last 2 games so they can finish at the 500 mark here at Highmark for the first time since 2015. And I know that the Steel Army and the Riverhound fans would love to have them at least 500 here at home and develop a even stronger home field advantage.
Pressure there from Francois, forcing the issue along the back line for the Riverhounds.
Forbes bends that one in. Fall looking for Graff. Very efficient so far. Camden Feo takes a shot. Block. Fall has it. His shot and a score. Wall Fall puts it in the back of the net for his 9th of the season.
It was a case of being in the right place at the right time for Wall Fall, popping up around the penalty spot. Again, the work of Graff, keeping the ball alive on the near sideline. Ball falls into Feo. He takes the shot. It's deflected out off of the mid-drift of Agbosamundo.
Yeah, really nothing Perella could do about that one. Fall upper right corner. Too good. And like you say, Matt, very fortunate deflection right to Wall.
You have to make your own luck and get in the right places, and Wall Fall does that. It's a nice shot in from Bradley Camden Feo. Have another crack at number 27's name again. You were coaching me up before the game. Got to make sure I don't say the other end, the N at the end. You'll have to say it for me, Ari.
Now the pressure's on. I thought you did a great job, Matt. Agbosamude out of Syracuse, New York.
Agbosamude. He was in the right place, but just couldn't
Rochester
get clearance far enough out of the box, and it fell to Fall, and he made no mistake putting it in.
And Forbes called for a foul there as he wrestled with Ben Fitzpatrick. Far side, Hounds trying to mount an attack here. It's been all Rhinos early. They'd like to get the ball on the foot of Kerr and Herzog and get some things started offensively. There's Corey. 13 goals on the season. Herzog now 3rd all time in Riverhound history with 26 career goals. Okai and Fitzpatrick. That lead ball just to the right is trying to find a seam to Herzog. Forbes with 3 defenders around him. Felix. Lind with Herzog in pursuit. Good run by Corey. Look at this energy. Great leadership here by the veteran out of Penn State. Corey Herzog was the 13th overall pick back in 2011 by the New York Red Bulls. See the boat going by.
It's a beautiful location here for the stadium. Fans get to look at the boat traffic as well as the game.
And once in a while you see a locomotive go by as well in front of the river. Always something to look at. Just absolutely gorgeous, scenic Highmark Stadium. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com.
Still feel the Riverhounds need to find a way to press further up the pitch. They're sitting back a little bit. It's allowing the Rhinos to have the possession that they want out on the flanks. That's where the problems have come for the Riverhounds in conceding the 2 goals. One from the left flank, one from the right flank.
Pittsburgh at the moment are certainly throughout this first half having trouble matching the energy level of Rochester. (2-0) Rhinos. Fitzpatrick will throw this in. Coach Lilly. And Mike Green, who's at a Strongsville,
Fans,
Ohio.
please join us in thanking Allegheny Health Network for their support of tonight's
Some
Skip for
action
Cancer
here
Night.
tonight.
Final Allegheny
Looking
Health
to
Series event
throw it
of the
in
season.
down the pitch, but there was nobody moving for him in the attacking half for the Riverhounds.
Mike Green is tied for number 3 in Pittsburgh history with 130 caps. He's tied with Kevin Kerr, a veteran of the Riverhounds.
Right, they're just miscommunication defensively in the attacking third. There was some opportunity to put some pressure on the back line of the Rhinos. Pratzner, I think it was, who was on the ball, and both players for the Riverhounds pulled out of the challenge, and in the end it was an easy clearance for the defender for the Rhinos.
Francois, he set up the goal with a gorgeous assist to Graff. Send it back to Lind with Siobhan Walsh in pursuit. Siobhan's second on the team in both points and goals scored this season. 5 goals, 12 points.
Just doing a quick check, and I think this is only the 8th game this season that the Rhinos have scored 2 goals or more, which is pretty incredible considering how many games these teams play in the USL.
Yeah.
The 29th, was it 30th match they're playing this evening.
Well, you see the skill that they can put on the field. That one errant. Well, you know they're capable, Matt. You got guys like Fall and Forbes and with Graff up front of it. Francois was injured for the majority of the season, but he definitely provides a burst of speed.
Francois is so technically gifted and so creative on the dribble. Times he gets his head down a little bit too much and doesn't find his teammates as consistently as I would like. But he certainly is a dangerous player out on that right wing for Rochester. At times he'll pop up on the left as well. And Forbes is a center midfielder. He'll roam around, and he's a difficult player to mark because he'll pop up on the left, pop up on the right, or stay central. It's a little unfortunate there that the foul went against the Riverhounds. I thought that was a fair challenge on the header off of the clearance.
Yeah. Pittsburgh players were not pleased. Forbes serves it up beautifully at 2 headers. Farrell had a pretty good look as it skimmed off the head of, I believe, Graff initially. Beautiful ball in by Forbes.
That was a fantastic late run there on the back post.
It's time for the double tree.
It actually deflected off of Pratzner's head first, and then Farrell came in. Joe, a couple of goals this season. He's an outstanding defender.
Played very well last week against Louisville.
Starting every stay with a warm chocolate chip cookie.
But
the winning row is.
Didn't see that ball. The way he reacted as that ball skimmed off the head of Pratzner. I don't think Farrell saw that ball at all through the traffic. But I love the run that he made.
Oh, we got a player down for Rochester. Camden Feo holding the right foot. He struggles to get on his feet. Pressure here from Pittsburgh. Mike Green. Jordan Dover, the rookie, on the attack. Ball in, looking for Fall. Wall with the left foot. That is wide. Fall scoring the second goal of the night for Rochester. There's Bradley Camden-Feo. It doesn't look like he is going to be able to continue. The defender from Paris, France.
Certainly struggling. He blows his whistle to stop the action so that he can get attention. He was actually very smart because he was sort of half on, half off the pitch. Instead of going off the pitch, he came back on it so that he slow the play down essentially and get the attention that he needs from the athletic training staff.
Fans, please join us on Fan Appreciation Day, October 14th.
The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest leagues news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL. So back in play, there's Forbes. What a move to his right, but added strip. Nicely done by Kevin Kerr.
Referee Elvis Osmanovic said to Camden-Feo, well, you were off the pitch, you're on the pitch, you're close enough, get off the sidelines so we can start the action and keep the play going, please. And that's what happened.
There's a nice set for Pittsburgh. Really their first. Stevan Okai to the perimeter.
Okai and Kerr talking to one another. Kerr felt that ball should have been played out to Taylor Washington on that far sideline a lot earlier than it was.
Center of the field, Solto.
So Kerr is coming more centrally now rather than staying out on the flanks, trying to get involved. Captain trying to get something going for his team.
Yeah, that poked away by Graff. Forbes leading the Rhinos back the other way.
Seems like the communication for the Riverhounds is lacking tonight. There should have been a call of man on. Allow Kerr the knowledge that he's going to be put under some duress from Graff. We've seen several examples of that from the Riverhounds tonight.
Well, Pittsburgh was eliminated from the playoffs with that defeat last weekend. It was just their first time all season they have dropped 2 straight. But maybe a little flat if you get eliminated from the playoffs. And
I can understand you being a little flat and disappointed that essentially your season's only going to last for tonight and next week. But you're playing the sport that you love in front of the fans that love you and appreciate what you do. Go out and have some fun, but the important thing is also take care of the basics. Something as simple as shouting to your teammate that you got some pressure on and you need to get rid of the ball is probably one of the easiest things you can do on the field.
Well, it looks like the Hounds have turned up the intensity, certainly. Herzog making that run and Kerr communicating.
Sean Walsh complaining that he was tugged, his jersey was tugged there. It seemed like he overran the ball, so there was a good chance that Walsh did have his shirt pulled there by the center backs of Rochester. He was trying to play the ball out to this near sideline.
Long ball. Herzog was offsides. Pretty pass. Negated.
Didn't control it quite as well as he would have liked. I think he probably realized that he'd strayed.
Rochester substitution.
So Raymond Lee will come in for Camden-Feo.
Brad Camden.
Camden-Feo braved that injury, is certainly in pain, and we hope Bradley's okay. Important piece for the Rhino attack. Raymond Lee, the defender out of St. Louis University, out of Kansas City, comes in. 2-0 Rochester. A Graff goal in the first minute, and then a wall fall tally as the Rhinos ahead. This is Ray Lee. Pittsburgh battling Solto, and a taken by Wall. Graff on the lead between two defenders. Broken up nicely. Way out into the corner to try to. And did he push it to the side? Great hustle by Perella. James. In the corner, Forbes. Rochester has the Hounds spread out nicely. Solto in the right spot. Couldn't clear it. Forbes' strike is deflected high in the air. Colliding there, no call. Francois and Solto go down.
Riverhounds defended that fairly well. Then Corey Herzog coming back into the right back position, played a poor pass, put his team under some pressure and allowed the Rhinos to get the possession back. Communication is starting to get a little bit better. The intensity is starting to get a little bit better for the Riverhounds. That's something that's good to see.
You see Victor Solto always in the right spot. Coach Brandt,
Tonight,
a point to mention Victor's solid season. Leads Pittsburgh with 62 tackles, has 141 duels won, 65 interceptions.
It will be signed and auctioned at the end of the match.
Victor out of
Proceeds
Brazil.
will be donated to the Susan G. Komen Pittsburgh Foundation for ongoing breast cancer research to help
There he
us
is, number 5.
ultimately kick
Wall
cancer.
fall. That's some terrific defensive position on the basketball court, maybe to take a charge, but.
Referee Osmanovic saying, I've seen you do that 2 or 3 times, no more. Next time will be a yellow card for Mr. Fall if it's one of those clumsy challenges again.
Wall is 6'3" out of Frankfurt, Germany. Does it all for this team. 194 duels won, 9 goals now.
Seems taller than 6'3" though.
You're right. Very lanky, long arms.
Coach Brand has left his seat, has been standing on the sideline barking instructions to the Riverhounds, and I think his intensity is starting to spread through his team onto the pitch. Pittsburgh just seem to be moving half a step quicker at the moment than they were to start the match.
Yeah, you see the intensity there from Coach Brandt. What a terrific leader he is. Graff giving chase as Okai moves it forward. Trying to get it back, but Wall's long legs were in the way. Francois in the center of the field.
Washington, the left fullback for Pittsburgh, thought about going out to make the challenge, but wisely decided against it, held his position, held the line nicely. Consequently, the Rhinos had to go backwards and were able to win possession back momentarily, although the ball forwards didn't find the foot of Walsh.
Getting swung down there was Egbon Samude. See the train moving just beyond the field. Pittsburgh would like to be getting their momentum going in that direction as well. The Riverhounds.
I'd be tempted as the driver just pull up and watch the game from the tracks.
almost getting through was Raymond Lee, who came off the bench to replace Cam DeFeo, who left with an injury. James. Nobody there near the far post, and headed right back to Perella.
Washington did well with that. It bounced high on him. Awkward to deal with, but the left fullback did well.
Washington has been so valuable to this team throughout the season. 132 duels won, 95 interceptions, 85 clearances, 48 tackles.
Games I've watched the Rhinos this season, Ari, it always impresses me how quickly they get players behind the ball. It feels like if you're a member of the opposition, as soon as you win the ball back, you're facing a wall of green shirts.
Dangerous there with Fall looming.
Green did very well with that. That bounced really awkwardly at his feet. It was almost as if he controlled it too well. Spun around and found the possession of the ball and was able to get it clear before Fall could pounce.
Man, Forbes and Fall so creative in the center of the field. That is a difficult duel to deal with.
Especially his mobile as Forbes is. He's all over the pitch. Fall stays a little bit more central, which allows his captain to range around him, if you like.
Nice sliding tackle there by Bossamude. Kicked up in the air, awkward spin there, kind of got the side of it, a little bit dangerous right in front of the goal, but Bossamude got enough of it to clear. It'll set up a corner kick opportunity for the Rhinos. So set piece opportunity with Forbes teeing it up.
Well, Francois played it in. It was a difficult ball to deal with. Bossamude did well with it in the end to get it over the crossbar. You'd be thankful if you're a Pittsburgh fan that Francois took an extra touch, because he had his teammate number 7, Ryan James, lurking right at the top of the box, but he was unseen.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the lake. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 7 Eastern on Sirius XMFC Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XMFC will air the USL Game of the Week. You can check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Raymond Lee has played well since entering the game for Coach Lilly. Solto directing traffic as the Hounds try to get something moving forward.
Very lateral at the moment for Pittsburgh. Rhinos have a player advantage in the midfield area, and it's telling at the moment on occasion as the Riverhounds try to go forwards. They don't have that release pass centrally that they could use to find the play further up the pitch on the flank.
That was a great lead pass by Kevin Kerr. Pratzner. That's a good look at Siobhan Walsh. Lind will send it down. Graff. Forbes Joe Farrell. Whoop, that hit the paw of Fall.
Almost looked like he wanted to put the goalkeeper gloves on the way he went. His arm went out for that one. He's maybe a little fortunate that he didn't get that yellow card that the referee warned him about.
Well, on a football Saturday, it was a nice pattern right over the middle, and Wall wanted to make the catch, I think, with his hands.
It was incomplete, though.
There's Fall and Forbes. Kerr hustling back. Dover darting over, denied. Nicely done by Taylor Washington.
It was a good recovery there from Washington. The overlap on that far sideline from Dover. Francois leaving the ball alone as it was aimed into the attacking third on that right flank. Dover on the overlap. There's that width that the Rhinos are finding. Because they have that presence of Fall and Forbes a little bit higher up the pitch, they're able to get that width further up the pitch.
Forbes hits this one low. A shot header and a save. Nicely done off of a difficult deflection. Varela. Puts it up in the night sky. And we'll get a foul out of that as Kerr was interfered with. Let's take a look at this again. James, his strike off the head of Farrell.
Straight at the goalkeeper, but that was a really difficult save. Goalkeeper was well placed, but the reaction of Perella to get his hands to it and have soft hands, not give up a rebound, was a tremendous job from the keeper. Some of his indoor playing experience coming to the fore there.
So the Hounds with another set piece opportunity. Kevin Kerr, who leads this team in assists and minutes played. Bends it beautifully, headed a couple of times, and that shot will end up back with Kerr.
Called offsides there. I like the deep cross on the corner kick. The service was good. Bosomude was playing it back across the grain, almost found a teammate. So difficult to defend those. Just didn't quite come off for the Riverhounds.
As we come upon the 42nd minute, 2-0 Rochester. Kevin Kerr, 2,633 minutes this season, a workhorse for the Hounds.
I've been talking about the communication needed to improve for Pittsburgh, and look at Corey Herzog, the forward. He's waving his arms around, yelling at his midfielders as he's trying to put pressure on the back line to force the issue as far as where the pass is going. He's trying to direct his defenders, his midfielders behind him, so they know where he's going, and so that they can then cover up the pass, so that perhaps they can force the issue, force the turnover further up the pitch.
Okai working towards the near side. They're hoping to get it back to him from Herzog.
Okai, that's the first touch he's had in a long time. Been very quiet this evening.
Okai, another player that Coach Brandt pointed out. A very good, kind of quiet, good season from Stepan. 18 clearances, 14 tackles, has a goal.
Both he and Soto have been a little bit quiet because of the way the Rhinos have been playing.
Francois trying to settle it. couldn't in time. Great help coming back from Balsamude. Francois just couldn't get a hold of it in its stride. But Cristiano back to make the steal there. Francois out of Haiti. Played for the Terrapins of Maryland in his collegiate ball. Graff on the run.
It's great having the mics around the benches of the coaches because you can hear the instructions being shouted out. This one from Coach Lilly telling the Rhinos, look for your outlets and push up as the ball's played forwards.
So Forbes, another opportunity from the corner. The third time. Canardo 4 assists, 85% passing accuracy, 43 chances created from the midfielder out of Jamaica. That one's going to clear everybody.
Must have had an extra bowl of the breakfast cereal that gives you all the power in the legs this morning. That or he hit it on a heartbeat. That was a very poor service from Forbes.
High in the air. Ryan James goes up. Has to go back to the keeper. And Hounds have had difficulty getting into their attack. We'll have 1 minute of stoppage. So just over a minute now to play in the first half. Wall fall moves so easily. High in the air, Washington. There you see the stoppage time.
There will be an additional 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Again, a minimum of 1 minute stoppage time at the end of the first half.
Joe Farrell coming out to pressure there is Walsh. Fall dangerous in the center of the field, as is Forbes.
Well, Jack, they're trying to step up into the midfield to win the ball, unable to do so.
Rochester will try to get a shot off. They only have about 15 seconds. And now see if Perella pushes forward quickly.
The Riverhounds will be a little bit relieved that the halftime whistle's about to come, and the Rhinos will be very satisfied with the first 45 minutes of work.
And that should be the end of the half. And there is the whistle. So the Rhinos off to a quick start here tonight. They strike for a goal in the first minute of play, add another one by Wall Fall. That was the man with the first goal of the night, Johan Graff. And it's 2-0 Rhinos. Pittsburgh showing a little more energy as the half went on. And let's see what Coach Brandt and the Riverhounds have in store for the second half. We'll see if Coach Brandt can get ignite his team in the second half. They trail at 2-0 here at Highmark Stadium.
With hundreds and hundreds of pre-owned vehicles for every budget, Number One Cochran is the one and only place you need to shop.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
I'm going to take your right arm out of the gown here, hon. I'm going to take your right arm out. Okay, good. Now you're going to put your right hand up here on this bar. Okay. We're going to take the picture now. Just hold very still. Hold very still. Perfect. Good job. Okay.
Fighting cancer on all fronts. Allegheny Health Network.
Through the years, you've done right by investing in your home. And now, you can use that equity to borrow money for the things you need. With a low 1.99% APR and no fees, you can apply for a home equity loan online and use the money to upgrade to that minivan, make home improvements, or finance college. At Clearview, we can help you find ways to use the equity in your home for more important things. Let us help. Visit us online for more information. Clearview Federal Credit Union, the next generation of personal banking.
Give me a hug. You did it. Thank you.
Fighting cancer on all fronts. Allegheny Health Network.
You could spend lots of time searching lots of used car websites, or just visit Cochrane.com to see lots and lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochrane.com now.
Yeah, welcome back. Fans here in Pittsburgh having a great time at this gorgeous stadium, Highmark Stadium. Riverhounds trailing 2-0 against a hot Rochester team as we look at the stats in the first half.
Again, is she going to listen to the crowd?
Pretty much all Rochester, huh?
No, no surprise there at all. Look at the possession, 59%, 41%, and most of that Rhino possession is in their attacking half, which is where it needs to be. 11 shots for the Rhinos. I mean, all round, it's just a dominant performance from the Rhinos in that first 45 minutes. And somehow, some way, the Riverhounds have to find a way to get the ball further up the pitch. They've got to get Soto, and they've got to get Okai more involved centrally in the midfield. Otherwise, it's going to be a long second 45 minutes. But it was a perfect start from Graf, scoring in the first minute, and then Fall putting on the second goal as well. And just the dominance continued throughout that first half.
2 shots for Pittsburgh, but none on goal. They failed to record a shot on goal for the first time since 2014 in their last game, that loss at New York. So we'll see what the Hounds can manage in the second half. Their crowd having a terrific time with the Steel Army and all the kids enjoying the atmosphere in gorgeous downtown Pittsburgh. It's the Rhinos 2 and the Riverhounds 0 at the moment.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can
get someone the cab.
Or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates,
our classmates, our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
As we enter the final 2 weeks of the 2017 USL regular season, the playoff race is coming down to the wire. In one of the final games of Week 28, the Charleston Battery claimed the point they needed to clinch a spot in the postseason through Evio Cordova's late equalizer, which earned a 1-1 draw at Ottawa Fury FC. Another sellout crowd at Papa Murphy's Park of 11,569 fans saw Sacramento Republic FC close out its home slate on a high note Saturday night with a 2-0 victory that ended Phoenix Rising FC's 11-game undefeated streak. With the win, Republic FC now needs just 1 point to claim a 4th consecutive trip to the USL Cup Playoffs. At the top of the Western Conference, Real Monarchs SLC struck early in the second half and twice before the final whistle on the road to down Reno 1868 FC 3-0 to put one hand on the USL regular season championship. One more point is all that's needed for the Monarchs to claim the first silverware in their history. One of the scorers for the Monarchs in Reno was Chandler Hoffman, who is again firmly in the middle of the race for the USL Golden Boot with 16 goals this season. Everyone is still chasing Reno 1868 FC's Dane Kelly, though, as the Jamaican continues to lead the way with 18 goals in what looks now like a three-player race that also features Hoffman and the Charlotte Independence's Enzo Martinez, who also sits on 16 goals. With 2 games remaining for all 3 players, the award remains up for grabs as the regular season nears its conclusion. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Cochran.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
It is Kick for Cancer night here tonight at Highmark Stadium, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the Riverhounds in their pink jerseys. We are at the half. The fans enjoying the action and the Kick for Cancer night. Well, Rhinos fans, you got a big one coming up Tuesday as well. That'll be on ESPN3, 7 o'clock. This Tuesday, the 10th, against Bethlehem Steel FC. So that's a big one in the Eastern Conference standings on E3 on Tuesday. Kick for Cancer night tonight here at Highmark Stadium.
With hundreds and hundreds of pre-owned vehicles for every budget, Number One Cochran is the one and only place you need to shop.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Hello, Shanti. How are you
Hi,
today?
Rose. Good, thank you.
How's this pressure for you? Okay?
Yes.
I'm going to do nice and light today for you.
Fighting cancer on all fronts. Allegheny Health Network.
Through the years, you've done right by investing in your home. And now, you can use that equity to borrow money for the things you need. With a low 1.99% APR and no fees, you can apply for a home equity loan online and use the money to upgrade to that minivan, make home improvements, or finance college. At Clearview, we can help you find ways to use the equity in your home for more important things. Let us help. Visit us online for more information. Clearview Federal Credit Union, the next generation of personal banking.
I'm going to take your right arm out of the gown here, hon. I'm going to take your right arm out. Okay, good. Now you're going to put your right hand up here on this bar. Okay, we're going to take the picture now. Just hold very still. Hold very still. Perfect. Good job. Okay.
Fighting cancer on all fronts. Allegheny Health Network.
You could spend lots of time searching lots of used car websites, or just visit Cochran.com to see lots and lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
2-0 is our score here. Kick for Cancer night. It's been all Rhinos in the first half. But the fans loving it. They are having a wonderful time. All smiles in the stands, Matt.
I'll be smiling a little bit bigger if the Riverhounds can start the second half as well as they finished the first. I'll check out the highlights from this first half action. It started early for the Rhinos. Long ball played forwards. Running onto the ball was Francois. Didn't really look up, just put it in the mix. And then who is there stirring the pudding? There's Graf with his left foot, putting the ball past Perella in the first minute of action tonight. Collected by Francois and just delightful cross in. Great run across the front of the goal into the near post area by Graf, and then just sticks out his left peg. Perella really no chance to make a play on the ball. And that was the worst start possible for the team from Pittsburgh. Forbes there, the captain for the Rhinos, right-footed shot, just dragging his foot across it. Easy enough for the goalkeeper to get his body behind it. There's a lot of action down that right flank for the Rhinos. There's Graf again in the near post area. Perella does a fantastic job, textbook header, fantastic save, and then up again quickly was the goalkeeper. This time it came off the post. It was because the goalkeeper forced the errant shot, and this was unfortunate for the Riverhounds. They started playing a little bit better. The ball falls to Fall, and he puts it into the back of the net. Camden Feo with the shot deflects off of the leg of Abosamude, and there's Fall right at the penalty spot, and he's not going to miss from there. Rhinos continued. Farrell with a delightful late run off of the set piece. It's deflected off the head of his defending teammate Pratzner. Farrell saw it late, wasn't able to turn it onto the target. And then this was another great opportunity for Farrell that he would have seen late. A difficult shot from James to deal with into the turf. Farrell tried to get it on target. He did so, and that was another good save from the goalkeeper with soft hands from Perella.
Well, here's the upcoming schedule for Rochester, and every point and every match important. They have Bethlehem, that's the ESPN3 game on Tuesday. And then they'll face the New York Red Bulls coming up next Saturday night. Both of those games in Rochester. And for the Hounds, their next one will be the 14th against Ottawa. Final match of the season.
Final match of the season, final home game. I'll be hoping that they can finish on a high note, go into the off-season with some positives so they can prepare for next year, and Coach Brown will be hoping that his team will put the good performance to impress the fans one last time.
The Rhinos getting together. This is where they sit right now, 5th place. Points needed to clinch. They're saying 4 now. Before the game, in the game notes, they said a win would do it. But it's fluid right now with everybody maneuvering. And Rochester, look, Matt, they would love to host a game 1. But you got to be in the top 4, and it's not going to be easy.
Well, all you can do is take care of business, and they're doing so tonight, and hope that results above you in the table go your way. At the beginning of action tonight was Charlotte Independence, who was sitting in 4th place with 46 points. Let's see if the Rhinos can finish business in this second half, and then they'll just have to see where the chips fall as far as that home field advantage. But they're not a team that anybody will want to face, no, whether it be away or at home, because they are so difficult to deal with defensively. And we've seen how impressive they look on the counterattack, and we've also seen how impressive they look when they've allowed to have a lot of possession on the ball, which is what the Riverhounds did allow for large portions of that first 45 minutes.
Well, the Rhinos currently are on a season-long 5-game winless streak, 0-2-3. And the ironic thing is, you talk to Coach Lilly, and he's saying the team's playing well. He's happy with their production and where they're at, their level right now in the season.
He was very positive when we were speaking to him last week, and why not? I mean, they are playing really well. They've been a little bit unfortunate not to get some results go their way, but at the same time, they're finding ways not to lose games, and that's a key portion of what you're trying to do as a team and as a coach, is find ways not to lose games. As we've seen some other teams that have fallen at that hurdle right at the end of matches when they've had results in hand.
And what a franchise. The Rhinos trying to make the playoffs for the 21st time in 22 seasons. Right now, Pittsburgh on a 5-game winless streak of their own. They, of course, have been eliminated from playoff contention after a solid season, battling injuries to both their goalkeepers. Coach Brandt has kept them very competitive throughout. A few points here or there, and they're in as well. But so many teams bunched up near that 5th through even the 12th spot. So little room for error.
The Eastern Conference is very tight. 5 through 8 going down into 9th place. It's all up for grabs. Substitution at halftime by the Riverhounds. Fitzpatrick has left the action, and number 36 has come into the fray. Romeo Parks. Check and see where he fits into the action tactically for the Riverhounds and Coach Brandt.
Well, he's had a strong season, Parks. 131 duels, won 33 key passes to go along with 3 goals, 3 assists. Good size, 6'3" out of Jamaica.
I'm going to be interested tactically to see whether Coach Brandt does make a change. Numerically, the Rhinos have more players in the midfield, or they did in the first half. So with Parks coming in, maybe he'll fit in more centrally to try and help Soto and Okai out, and maybe create the width with the outside backs of Green and Washington.
A good start out of the gate here in the second half for the Riverhounds. Kevin Kerr with a free kick. Trying to add to his 60 key passes, 5 assists on the season. Kevin out of England serves it in towards the far post. Chopped down, nicely done to keep that in play and out in front by Walsh.
Well, there were players lurking for the Riverhounds, but nobody actually went to the ball. Herzog was at the back post. Bosamude was there closest to the ball, but he never moved.
Washington does a nice job. Herzog, can he get a shot off, and couldn't settle it, and frustrated sends it hard into the wall.
I'm glad he has the skill to keep that one low.
I was thinking the same thing.
Those fans behind the goal were really panicking for a minute. I saw the anger and frustration in his eyes as he swung on that ball.
Yeah. Now with Herzog's power in his leg, you don't want to see anything coming off of his foot in your direction while you're eating your popcorn. High in the air, very nicely done. Agbosamude. Trying to throw it in quickly was Herzog, but now Washington will come up and do it.
I'm laughing because Herzog tried to take the throw in where Washington just went up the field to, and the referee had already waved Herzog back. And Washington's trying to take the same amount of real estate. The referee was having none of it.
And Dover will be charged with a foul. He roughed up Corey a bit.
Much more positive start to the second half for the Riverhounds, and that's what they needed. When you're playing for pride, you have to have that pride in yourselves and your own performance, and put your best foot forward. Whether or not they're able to get back on terms in this match, we'll have to wait and see, but at the very least they need to be satisfied with their effort.
You see the stature of Parks, 6'3", 195. Looks like he could be playing multiple sports over the weekend, Saturday or Sunday.
Between him, Agbosamude and Jamal Jack.
Kerr taps it The strike, and off of the rear of Fall, quickly into Washington. Nice move to his left by Cavan. Fancy pass, didn't quite make it to Washington. Jordan Dover waiting to enter this one. Dover's out of Ontario, Canada, UW Green Bay, collegially. Fall in a hurry for Graff. Quick run by Johan, pokes it in front and just kicked away. Beautifully done, a save, goal-saving play there by Mike Green.
Well, Coach Brandt was screaming at Abasamude to get back defensively on that throw-in. And just as well he did, because he was able to force the play a little bit wider from Graff. And then Mike Green just did a fantastic job of adjusting his run defensively to tap that one out of the path of the onrushing attackers.
Forbes dribbling through traffic at a strip. There comes Kerr racing up the far side and knocked away by Ryan Felix.
Ryan Felix there. Two good defensive plays, one by Mike Green in the box for the Riverhounds, and Felix on the recovery run there.
Felix has been so steady. 42 tackles won, 114 duels won. Solid performer for the Rhinos. He's got good size too, 6'4". Almost called them the Ryans. They could be with Ryan Felix and Ryan James. They're always out there for the Rhinos.
Parks has slotted in
Please join us on October
central
14th.
midfield role in partnership with Okai and Soto, giving the Riverhounds more presence in the center midfield area.
USL regular season at Highmark Stadium.
Seeing Washington and Green trying to get into the attack more for the Riverhounds, get that presence out wide.
Dan Lind, very composed back there. Always feels comfortable. He's in Pittsburgh, right? But those playing at Pitt with the Panthers, 15 shutouts. And unfortunately for the Riverhounds, feeling right at home here at Highmark Stadium. And holding a clean sheet at the moment. Action at midfield where Forbes distributes. Well, Forbes and Fall are fun to watch.
Both players have a lot of imagination on the ball, composure on the ball, able to get their heads up and look around them.
And that pass squeezes through dangerously. Fall has it. James leaves for Pratzner. Good chase there by Walsh. And that chip in a little bit too far for Raymond Lee. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Good look at Perella. 6'1", 190. Francois with a blow by speed. Crowd hooting it up here at Highmark, trying to get their Hounds involved and back into this one. Certainly been much more competitive after the opening moments of the game. Rochester, that's a tough team to come back against, Matt.
Well, they don't concede many goals. And
The Riverhounds would like to wish a happy 8th birthday to
You've struggled to score as the Riverhounds have done at times this season. And then you're going up against the second best defense in the entire USL and the best in the Eastern Division. It doesn't bode well for you.
Francois well covered there.
Now Jack, he was trying to play that with the outside of the right boot up the flank, but miscued, puts it out for the throw-in.
That cross looking for Graff. Hit away by Green. Off the cross from Francois. That was the connection in the opening minute, which resulted in a goal for Rochester.
Ball kid on this near sideline didn't know what to do. The ball had been thrown back to her from the crowd and she missed it. It went onto the field of play and do I go get it? Do I stay in? What do I do?
Forbes headed away nicely.
The ball was out of bounds before he even got into the penalty area. Poor service on the corner kick. A couple of bad ones from Forbes, one in the first half and that one in the second. Make sure of those set pieces. You got to deliver the ball where your team can get to it. At this point, it doesn't really matter for the Rhinos, but in closer games, it could be the difference between a goal-scoring opportunity and not.
Cleared by the Hounds. Again, these two teams battling for the supporters-built Old Guard Shield here tonight. The Hounds can win it with a victory, as can Rochester. They're tied at 12 points, the 5 longest tenured franchises in the Eastern Conference against each other. Both Rochester and Pittsburgh are 1 point ahead of Charleston. Some jersey grabbing, and then that right hand got up high on Farrell.
A yellow card has been issued
Walsh.
to the Riverhounds, number 9.
Well, throughout the first half, Walsh was complaining that he was having his shirt tugged, and clearly he was on that coming together with Farrell, but as often happens, it's the second foul that is seen. And on occasion, it was the shove from Chevy Walsh to Farrell going to the ground, and hence the yellow card for the retaliation.
Hey, there's Coach Lilly screaming at Johan. There's Capelli sport shirt on. Taylor Washington said that should have been clean, but a foul here. Free kick upcoming. So set piece opportunity in a good position for the Rhinos.
It's a great position. It's close enough for a shot. It also has enough angle on it for the service. A couple of decisions to be made, but Fall is standing over the ball. Looks like he's shaping to serve it to the back post area. And one plus in the wall out there, he might fancy a shot.
He has a goal here tonight. Wall, far post, and nicely done, but a little ahead of the teammate darting in. That was Ryan Felix.
Ordinarily, I'd like to see that as an in-swing or away from the goalkeeper. It landed in about the same area that I would have been aiming for if I had been looking for that in-swinger. Just the runs were not soon enough for his teammates to get on the end of that. The anticipation wasn't there from the Rhinos.
Okay. '60th minute. Scoreless here in the second half. Now we have an injured player. It's Francois. Very uncomfortable at the moment. Arguing with the official. And
you can take part in voting for tonight's Cleveland Brothers Blue Collar Player of the Game.
May have been clipped, okay. As that ball went forwards, left his feet. I was following the ball, so I didn't actually see if there was a collision between the two players, but certainly there's a good chance that that did happen as Okai went for the ball.
Getting some fluid in him. You hope that maybe it's just a cramp, but
follow the USL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for news.
yeah, they're checking that left calf, which would indicate a cramp. As Cristiano will hobble off.
About the USL.
It's good to see him moving. Already had one player go out with a foot injury, Camden Feo, in the early part of the first half. Was replaced by Raymond Lee for the Rhinos.
Coach Oli checking on Francois, who assisted the early goal by Graff. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting www.uslsoccer.com. You can follow them on Twitter at USL. Taping that calf up. Joe Farrell. Here come the Hounds. Washington eludes Pratzner and tried to center it with a cross, but slid off the side of his foot.
Great industry down the flank, the near sideline hit by Washington. He got a little unfortunate. The ball stuck underneath his feet as he skipped over the challenge of the defender. He never did settle the ball again before he tried to pull the trigger on the cross, and it just goes high and wide of Dan Lynn's goal.
Hounds and Walsh trying to get something started. Dover. Jamal Jack, so athletic. His first season here in the USL, played professionally in El Salvador. A season high 13 clearances in the game back on the 26th against Bethlehem.
The Riverhounds have had more presence in the center area of the pitch, which has allowed some more freedom for the outside backs to get forwards, particularly on this near sideline with Washington. Consequently, the Rhinos are getting a little bit flatter. Those outside players of Lee on the left and Dover on the right is having to have more defensive responsibilities, and at times the Rhinos will look as though they have 5 across the back. As I say that, Lee is well up into the attacking half for the Rhinos.
Yes, he is. Ryan James working. Herzog giving chase. Jack and Graff battling. Back to Perella.
I like Ryan James, number 7 for the Rhinos. He allows some freedom for Forbes and Fall to do what they do well. He just anchors the bottom of their midfield triangle so well.
James, 140 duels won, 81 interceptions. He just does his job. Looking for a teammate was Mike Green. Okai passing ahead, and here comes Parks. underneath it, was hoping to connect with Walsh on the run, but Lind was there.
Body language of Herzog says he's a little frustrated with things at the moment, and wondering why Lind is being told to put the ball out.
So officially now they will make a substitute for Francois, who left the game injured, and it is Julian Boucher in the game. And for Pittsburgh, K. Banjo will check in for Walsh. So Boucher, who started 2 matches, 4 appearances this season for DC United. He's out of Syracuse. Checks in. And then K. Banjo, 2 goals, 2 assists this season. He had an assist in the Rochester game a couple weeks back. Solto, nice ball into the box, but cleared away. Here's Boucher. Boucher makes things happen. Nice pass to Fall. Nobody there on the perimeter. He's surprised Wall passed that out and not lined it up for a shot.
Surprised he didn't lay it into the path of Graf, who was trying to make a diagonal run through the back line there. Certainly Fall was anticipating Forbes or Dover on that left flank being open. Forbes had come in more centrally, so the ball went over his head, and Dover hadn't yet arrived. Certainly at the top of the box like that, you think that Fall would either line up the shot, or again, Graf was trying to make his way through that back line on the diagonal. In the end, it was just a wasted effort from Fall. You can see by his reaction.
Wall tallied the 2nd goal here tonight. That was his 9th of the season. Graf tallying his 8th. The 2 scoring leaders for the Rhinos this season.
Kerr touched the ball much in this 2nd half. He's gone out to the right wing for the Riverhounds. Most of the action has been taking place on this near sideline.
That foul. Felix. A lot of holding going on there. Finally we get a whistle against Pratzner as he was bonding up with Banjo. Playing the banjo there.
There has to be a comeback. I can't think of it right now.
Like Bossamude. Solto in the center of the field. Long ball to Washington, very nicely done. And the shot sails just high beyond the crossbar. Great looking attempt by Corey Herzog off the beautiful give from Taylor Washington.
Beautiful control from Washington, collecting that long diagonal pass. Got stuck underneath his feet a little bit, just puts it into the mix. And Herzog coming in late. Almost puts that one in on target under some duress from James. Forces the shot high and wide. That shows you how dangerous Herzog can be.
13 goals this season for Corey. Named the team of the week 3 times this season. He was All-League 2nd team last season. And on his way to one of the All-League teams this season. 50 key passes. Long ball again. Solto had his jersey grab. That's Fall again. And they warned him. And there's the yellow card, Matt.
The referee was counting them up again. He forgot the ones from the first half. Certainly full deserve to go into the book for that one, but a little lesson there for youngsters watching is wait for the whistle before you stop playing. Victor Soto was anticipating the whistle. If it hadn't come, he might have been very embarrassed having his pocket picked.
Little hesitation move by Jack as he connects with Romeo Parks. Jack chased by
yellow
Boucher.
card has been issued to Rochester's number 17, Wall Fall.
Coach Lilly saying that Dan Lynn's shot stopping has improved a lot over the season. He's very impressed with this young goalkeeper. And what a luxury to have a guy like Lind backing up the star Gomez.
So important for teams to have confidence in the player in net. If you're not sure what they're doing, you play a little tighter in front of them because you don't want to make a mistake because you're not sure that they're going to bail you out. But if you have a good keeper back there, just allows you that more freedom to relax and play your game and consequently make better decisions because you're not so tense.
Coach Brandt screaming at his players. Get physical here in the middle of the field. Couple of takedowns. They play on. Boucher to his right. There's the cross headed away. Collected by Fall. Boucher, nice fake going back to his right. This is more of what the first half looked like. Rochester controlling tempo.
Romeo Parks won't want to see that one on the highlight reel.
No.
His momentum just kept him going away from the ball there, and over he went, head over heels.
Here come the Rhinos. Graff off of the give from Forbes. Broken up nicely by Kevin Kerr.
Riverhounds need to find a little bit of a spark again. They've been playing so well in this second half, haven't had their rewards for their efforts. The last couple of minutes, it feels like the Rhinos are starting to get back into the ascendancy, and it's something the Riverhounds cannot afford to have happen.
James. And Dover. Hounds would love to get a goal, get their crowd into it, cut this lead in half. They were shut out last Saturday at New York.
Rochester substitution. Number 10.
So Wall Fall, his night is finished as he departs with a goal. And Sofian Turgu will enter the game for the Rhinos. Comes Turgu. Another creative offensive option for the Rhinos. Canardo being held and wrestling for position against Solto.
Bring Wall Fall out. Might be a little bit of a tactical change from Coach Lilly, not wanting to risk another yellow card for the big number 17. Also save his legs for the next game as well.
Yeah, game's coming up soon on Tuesday night against Bethlehem on ESPN.
Two teams in the playoff positions.
Boucher gets called for that. Yeah, Bethlehem looming there around. What position are they in now? About 8th, or are they?
As it stands, with the league standings updated with games in progress, if all results stand, Rochester will stay in 5th place. Bethlehem still will be in 7th place.
Banjo got pulled from behind by Ryan James as he was trying to unload on that ball. As Kay gets up to his feet. Played at Maryland, Baltimore County. Romeo Parks will line this up.
Bethlehem still played last night against Toronto FC2 and won that game 4-2. Should be a great match on ESPN3 on Tuesday night.
So Parks, who has 25 shots on goal, 3 goals, 3 assists on the season. With a good look here. Rochester aligning. And the boot is high. It'll be tough to get it over Lynn's head with his length. He's listed at 6'4", but got long arms too.
There's always that challenge on the free kicks. How much power do you put on it? You have to get the ball up and over. You also got to get it down on the other side, and with enough power to beat the goalkeeper. And on that occasion, Parks just put too much oomph into the ball. Didn't get enough overspin on the soccer ball to bring it down and challenge the goalkeeper.
2 stars here battling, Herzog and Farrell. Saw Farrell pretty much neutralize and tie up Luke Spencer of Louisville last Saturday.
Farrell played really well in that game against Louisville FC.
This is Turgu. Dover tracks it down, puts it into the corner. Only man there is Washington. We'll let it roll out for a goal kick. Pittsburgh hoping to mount an attack here. Gonna get Corey Herzog another look. He did have a shot on goal off of the pass from Washington moments ago.
Coach Lilly calling to his players to maintain their concentration for the last 12 minutes.
Forbes leaping over Jack. Boucher gets it back.
It's a lovely little touch from Boucher as he received the initial pass there. So subtle with the inside of the right foot to keep possession of the ball. Beautifully done by the substitute.
You hear Coach Lilly shouting out instructions. Farrell. Dover looking for a lane here. In the 80th minute. Steel Army trying to get the Hounds crowd involved. You see them waving flags.
Almost feels like the Riverhounds' momentum that they started the second half with has waned a little bit. Dropping deeper and deeper and inviting the pressure forwards from the Rhinos to find a way to get themselves back on the front foot.
Canardo. Nice passing with Boucher. Boucher on the charge. Washington clearing.
A bit fortunate there, Taylor Washington. He got flat-footed, watched the ball. The give and go didn't happen in rhythm, so he was able to recover his position. Certainly was very guilty of ball watching, but got away with it.
Crowd hoping to have something to cheer about for the Hounds. They've been shut out here. Canardo. Dover sends it in. Solto out of the air, clearing. Is that Coach Lilly telling his team to get wider? You hear that, Matt?
Yes, I did.
Here comes Forbes. Into the box, a shot and a save. Perella diving to his left. Well read by Matt.
Might have been drifting past his upright, but he wasn't going to make any mistakes to his near post. Goalkeepers hate being beaten, but particularly to their near post. And he corralled it beautifully. It's great to hear all the communication from Coach Lilly to his team, talking about keeping shape, stay connected, get wider, show for the ball. What he means by that is it's not just getting width, you've also got to show at an angle so that you can be seen and that the ball can be passed to you. You have to be cognizant of what's between you and the player on the ball. If I'm just standing there with the pink shirts of the Riverhounds between me and the player on the ball, I'm never going to get it. I have to find a way to show on the angle so that the ball can be passed to me.
Now, Coach Lilly not content, up 2-0 here in the 83rd minute. He wants perfection and execution out there. He's preparing his team for the playoffs.
He's talking both sides of the ball. One, it's the concentration and the shape, which is the defensive side. But the movement, the getting wide, showing for the ball, that's the attacking side of the ball that he wants his team to improve on. See Coach Brand there trying to chivvy his players up, trying to get their energy level back to where it was at the early part of this second half.
You can see they came out in the second half, like you say, Matt, with that Coach Brandt's energy, but it has dissipated here late in the game. Dover. There's a shot. And just wide. Good look there. Dover. There's Forbes' attack and his shot on goal.
Just see the spin off the outside of the boot. Might have been taking it past the left-hand upright, but the goalkeeper did beautifully, getting his hands and then his body behind the ball, making no mistake, ensuring that it didn't go into the back of his net, and then making sure he didn't give up the corner kick as well.
And then just previously, we just saw that shot, I believe it was Boucher.
The ball was played in by Dover, and then just a very quick flick shot.
Shot by Herzog, flies wide. Well set up from Solto.
Well, Soto might have been better off taking that one deeper into the box and having a crack with his left leg. Beautiful run from the midfielder. Credit to him, actually. Farrell was tracking the run so well on that negated the angle that Soto might have had for the shot. So in the run of play, I thought I was criticizing him for not taking the effort, but he actually did the only thing that he could, trying to find Herzog, because the defense of Farrell was so good.
Yeah, beautifully done, set up by Kay Banjo. Terrific touch from Soto. Long ball on the run, Herzog amongst green jerseys. And it'll end up being a corner kick opportunity for the Hounds and Romeo Parks.
Again, Coach Lilly calling to his team to keep shape, that they know the ball's going long. They got caught out by Richmond a couple of weeks back on a long ball clearance from the goalkeeper, and that ended up being the game winner for Richmond kickers.
Dangerous on the counter. Graff giving chase. Farrell doing an excellent job on that corner kick to get up there and head it away.
We talked to Coach Lilly prior to last week's game against Louisville, and he talked about that goal from Richmond, and he was not happy with his defenders, wondering what they were playing at, not communicating, and you can hear him tonight making sure that they keep that shape, keep together. And as that ball's played long, you always want to have the 4 defenders, 3 defenders drop as a unit, and then once you've judged the flight of the ball, you communicate so that one player will then challenge for the long ball, and then the team around him will drop and keep the play in front of them. You don't want all 3 players going for the same ball.
There's Forbes. Pushing it to the perimeter. Just a few minutes remain here. Rochester comfortably in the lead. The goal in the first minute of play, and then Wall Fall added one after Graff's goal in the first half. No scoring since early in the first half for either team now. Boucher with space. And whistle blows.
Forbes was offsides as the flick pass came from Boucher. Almost felt like the Rhinos were toying with the Riverhounds there. Felt like they could have played that ball into the box at any given point. They chose never to do so, and in the end, sustained good pressure and possession came for naught because of the mistimed run from Forbes.
Here come the Hounds, hoping to give their terrific fans something to cheer about, but taken away by Ryan James. It's definitely one of the stadiums around the USL. There's quite a few of them, but you definitely would love to visit and take a game in here at Highmark.
So many great facilities, fantastic sight lines.
Lead from Forbes to Graff. He just couldn't settle it. See the Steel Army banners there in back of the net. Great fan base here at Highmark Stadium. So Dan Lind, about a minute left, maybe a little stoppage time away from his 3rd clean sheet of the season. And you combine that with 10 from Tomas Gomez. It's one of the scary features about this team, having to face them in the playoffs. Here's Turgu on the run into the box with the left foot. Can't connect with Graff. And Jamal Jack set up in the right spot. Turgu There'll be 2 minutes of stoppage at Turgu and Graf. A couple of good opportunities there, Matt.
Well, good opportunities. Jamal Jacks played fairly well in the center part of the Riverhounds defense in partnership with Bosamudo.
There will be 2 minutes stoppage time at the end of the second half.
Here's the 2 minutes up.
There will be additional 2 minutes of stoppage time
board.
at the end of the second half.
Pittsburgh 4-6-4 here at home. Rochester came in 4-4-6 on the road. Here come the Hounds. Free kick upcoming, so it appears that the Rochester Rhinos will grab the supporters-built Old Guard shield with this win. Was on the line tonight. These two teams are the 5 longest tenured franchises in the Eastern Conference, battling for the Old Guard shield, and they were both in the lead with 12 points. Rochester, Boucher, either content just to run clock, or will Forbes advance? About 30 seconds remain. The lead for Boucher, high in the air and nearly into the river.
Turgu was lurking, ready for the pullback that never came from Boucher. Poor choice from number 27. Should have pulled that ball back. His teammate was in support, in position to have an opportunity on frame. Now you're leading 2-0 up with the final whistle to come, but make good choices in and around the penalty box.
And that whistle should be coming any second now as Rochester kills time. And there it is.
Final score, Rochester 2.
2-0. There's the classy Coach Brandt congratulating Kratzner and the Rhinos on their impressive victory here tonight. 2 goals early on in this one, and then Rochester played it out, held on, and pick up another clean sheet. Their 13th of the season. Today it's Dan Lind and the dynamic Rochester defense shutting out Pittsburgh 2-0. We'll be back for final highlights and stats coming up.
With hundreds and hundreds of pre-owned vehicles for every budget, Number 1 Cochran is the one and only place you need to shop.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Hello, Shanti. How are you
Hi,
today?
Rose. Good, thank you.
How's this pressure for you? Okay?
Yes.
I'm going to do nice and light today for you.
Fighting cancer on all fronts. Allegheny Health Network.
Through the years, you've done right by investing in your home. And now, you can use that equity to borrow money for the things you need. With a low 1.99% APR and no fees, you can apply for a home equity loan online and use the money to upgrade to that minivan, make home improvements, or finance college. At Clearview, we can help you find ways to use the equity in your home for more important things. Let us help. Visit us online for more information. Clearview Federal Credit Union, the next generation of personal banking.
You could spend lots of time searching lots of used car websites, or just visit Cochran.com to see lots and lots of vehicles.
More used cars, more ways to buy them. Shop Cochran.com now.
Well, it's always a good time out at Highmark Stadium. Gorgeous night here in Pittsburgh. Even though the Riverhounds weren't on the right side of this score, their fans enjoyed it. Terrific action. The Rochester Rhinos 2-0. They win it. We'll take a look at the highlights in this one. Mostly for the Rhinos, Matt.
It started right at the beginning of the first half. Not even a minute into the action. Francois on the right flank puts it into the 6-yard box. There's Graf running across the face of the goalkeeper to the near post. Hangs out his left leg, makes contact with the ball and puts it into the back of the net. Great industry down the right wing for Francois. Beautiful service. And just a little karate kick chop with the left leg. Puts it in past the goalkeeper. This one was Perella's finest moment of the first half. A fantastic initial save off of the header. And then it deflects off the post to go wide. But then this is the second goal. Fall at the penalty spot. So unlucky was Agbasamude deflecting the ball into the path of Fall off of the Feo shot. The Fall isn't going to miss from there with that amount of time in the 18-yard box.
For Wall, that was his 9th of the season. Graf's 8th.
Couple of chances fell for Farrell. That was another fine save. Doesn't look very spectacular, but soft hands from Perella, the goalkeeper. And really the most dangerous opportunity for the home team, the Riverhounds, off of the play from Washington. Fell to the foot of Herzog and he couldn't put it on frame. And as the second half wound down, the Rhinos started to put their foot back on the gas. Forbes, under a lot of time, you look him over his right shoulder, wondering where the pressure from Washington was coming, and outside of the right foot, challenges the goalkeeper. Perella makes no mistake with it. And then great defensive work from Farrell, number 15 for the Rhinos, thwarting this attack. Great ball forward from Banjo. The run from Soto was tremendous. He did all that he could do, was find Herzog, but Herzog couldn't put it on frame because of the defensive pressure from the number 15.
And here's our match stats. Pretty much all Rhinos.
Well, you look at that possession, and it is all Rhinos, but in the second half, it was pretty much 50-50 because the Riverhounds came out so much more positively after the halftime break. They had a positive message from their coach, Coach Brand, and they were able to go forwards on the front foot. They just couldn't find a way to breach that back line of the Rochester Rhinos. And in the end, the energy went out of the home team, and the Rhinos were able to put their foot back on the gas and get back into the game as far as the possession was concerned. But the Rhinos are so deadly as far as their defensive presence is concerned. They get so many players behind the ball so well, so organized. We heard Coach Lully time and time again yelling at his team to keep their shape, keep their concentration. And then on the other side of the ball, he's coaching them up as far as their angles and support runs are concerned.
Crowd hanging around here at Highmark. Why not? Such a beautiful stadium, waiting for some autographs. Action on the field of all ages. Next game for the Rhinos, it's an ESPN3 game, 7 o'clock. That's Tuesday the 10th, and a big one against Bethlehem Steel FC, who's playing well. And for Pittsburgh, the last game of the season here at home against Ottawa. So coming out and support the Hounds. The final game of the season, Ottawa Fury on Saturday at 7 here from Highmark Stadium. So the Monongahela River and the Rhinos. Francois Graf in the opening minute, and then it's Fall, sealing it early, 2-0. The Rhinos win it. They improved to 12-7-11. Pittsburgh falls to 8-12-11. For my partner Matt Stubbington, I'm Ari Shannock saying so long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.